Welcome to the second part of the video. I hope you liked the first one and you didn't forget to leave your comments. Jimmy is with you as always, and we are starting. First story in the second part. From the user, Lamathrust Tulti Let's listen. I'm lucky enough to be engaged to the woman of my dreams. She's perfect in every way, and the wedding is currently scheduled for next June. Right now, along with my fiancé, I have a very close friend living with us. She was my roommate in college and basically family. 5 months ago, she found out she was pregnant when she was told her entire life it was impossible for her to have kids. She was ecstatic, but her boyfriend, in case it comes up, he was also my roommate and basically family, wasn't, and begged her to have an abortion. Basically, she thought she'd never have another chance, but they were absolutely not in any position to raise a kid at the moment. Their relationship got very strained, and she ended up having a miscarriage. 1 week after, she found out her boyfriend was having an emotional affair with a coworker. They broke up, and she ended up also getting into a massive fight with her family. Obviously, I moved her into my place ASAP, and while she was definitely struggling for a while, I'm glad to say she seems to be slowly healing. A few nights ago, my fiancé had some of her friends over, all of which are bridesmaids. My friend joined them, and all of them ended up getting pretty drunk. My fiancé falls asleep pretty fast when she's drunk, so I carried her up to our room and tucked her in so I could take care of everyone else. My friend at that point had started drinking really heavily and looked kind of sick. So I walked her up to her bathroom and held her hair for about 20 minutes while she puked. When I figured she had enough out of her system, I left her to go check on the other girls and get them home. I was walking down the steps and heard one of her friends make a comment about me helping my friend up because I wanted to get in her pants. The other girls around her immediately told her off. They're all aware of my friend's situation between. And I just stood obstructed on the stairway, trembling in anger. I managed to calm down temporarily, come down and send them all home in Ubers. I had offered to drive them before, but in all honesty, I felt so angry. I did not want to be in that position. 3 days later, and I'm still angry. I genuinely don't ever want to be in the same room as this woman ever again, let alone have her 8 feet away as I say my vows. I haven't told my fiancé any of this yet, but I was planning to do so tomorrow as well as request her friend at least be removed from having a role, if not flat out be uninvited to the wedding. So would I be the asshole for asking to remove her for something she said when she was drunk? Author edited the story. Quite a few comments on this now. I want to address a few points. First, my fiancé and her friends do not have problems with alcohol. My girl is a lightweight, and none of her friends were blackout drunk or anything that far. The only person who puked was my friend. Passing out because you drank too much and falling asleep after having a couple drinks are two entirely different things. Okay, I really gotta spell it out here, because this is getting ridiculous. Every girl not living in my house had 3 to 4 drinks that night. Enough that none of them were getting behind the wheel, but not enough that they were all massively hammered and completely out of control. My fiancé had maybe 3 drinks and fell asleep 30 minutes after. Not passed out, not blacked out, just fell asleep. My friend was the only one who drank heavily, easily the equivalent of 6, maybe a couple more at most. At absolutely no point have I ever indicated I was going to take action or demand. My particular wording was request above, not demand, before talking to my fiancé about the whole story and the issue. I now intend to talk to the bridesmaid as well. Before I request anything, I understand I'm being a little overly sensitive. The reality is, this whole situation has been harsh for everyone involved. In particular, I know I've been very defensive of my friend given her current situation with her family, and it is entirely possible some of this anger towards Bridesmaid was redirected from things my friend's sisters have said and done to her in recent history. All this being said, there is absolutely positively nothing more between me and my friend besides a deeply platonic relationship. I do not have romantic feelings to my friend at all, nor am I insecure about society, telling me I can't have women friends without wanting to sleep with them. I'm just worried about my friend, who's still in a pretty bad place, and feel like very insulted. Someone would insinuate I would be taking advantage of her in such a state. She has not been living with us for 5 months. She found out she was pregnant 5 months ago. Her miscarriage happened approximately 2 months, and she moved into my place about 2 weeks after that. What I think about this story, I don't see a reason to talk to the bridesmaid also. Yes, she will give him this excuse, or blame him as not able to take a joke, too sensitive, too insecure. Then twist the situation to his fiancée before he has a chance to talk to her. His fiancée should know about it. From him, and if she wants any clarification, from all the bridesmaids. And then both of them should decide. Let's check the user comment. I get why you were so upset the friend was feeling out whether you were going to try to take advantage of a close friend. This, of course, is offensive to you. But can you hear me out for a moment? I had a good friend, a friend of over 10 years, do this very thing. It is a reality that people, especially women, face. The woman who made the comment may have been checking in with the others to make sure you were trustworthy, as you said. She does not know you well. They shut her down immediately, and it was dropped. It sounds to me like this woman was being a protector for other women, and that is something a lot of us are thankful for. Whether or not you are a woman OP, I hope you might be able to see that angle. Where you are now, you have a fiancé who has friends who all know they can trust you. My question to you is, why was your reaction so emotionally intense? Seeing red implies that you are violently shaken by this. Have you felt that your kindness has been taken advantage of? I would not talk to the bridesmaid. I would talk to your fiancé. Tell her what you overheard and ask if she thinks all of her bridesmaids support your marriage. It is important to have a wedding party that supports you both. If she tells you that this bridesmaid badmouths you, then that is a problem. But if they don't, then you should think about what you need to feel less hurt by the bridesmaid. Talk to her. Talk to your friend. And maybe everyone could cut back on the heavy drinking. Best of luck to you, and congrats on your marriage. Are you sure you are not closing your eyes to a potential blow-up situation? Maybe the friend is being really honest and can see this so-called best friend for maybe being underhanded and has given you a warning to think about. Think very carefully. Your fiancé's friends are very protective and care about her. If I was getting married soon, I would not want all the drama of this BFF drama. This is the time when the two of you need space to be a couple. Also, maybe situations with alcohol make people make mistakes. Ask yourself honestly, if this was a guy staying with you and your girlfriend was helping him be sick and looking after him, how would you feel? Maybe the best friend is just protecting her friend from what she sees as a problem that could arise. Maybe they pick up the friend likes you more than you actually see. Sometimes men are oblivious to this. You should read the article about the man's best friend spilling red wine on his wife's wedding dress. He was completely oblivious and ended up really upsetting someone he loved. Talk to your fiancé, or even have a private conversation with the friend and ask some questions. Communication is the best thing here, not speculation. Second story from the user. Worried strength, let's listen. I've been dating my boyfriend for almost 4 years, living together for about 2. I'll cut to the chase. His family, mom, dad, and sister, suffered a house fire in January, and they stayed with us in our 1-bedroom apartment for a couple weeks until their insurance got them a hotel. Now they are in the hotel. His family had 10 cats, and 9 of those cats are in the apartment with us currently. So it's me, him, and 9 cats right now. They pay for the food and litter, but I've bought them a cat tower and some toys. They've basically destroyed my couch, but I figured they would, and it was a cheap couch. This past Sunday, 2 days ago, they went to see a realtor to talk about buying a house. Where they lived was a place they rented for a decade. And the landlord was pissed about the fire, so they don't want to go back there even when the house is fixed. My boyfriend was supposed to be the one on the loan, because his parents aren't citizens and would have to pay an outlay on a down payment. But since he has a social security number, he can get a regular rate. The problem is, he doesn't make enough on his own. If I went in on him for the loan, our combined income would be enough to qualify. If I go in on the loan, we could stay with his family in the house and save for our own home later. We'd have more space, which would be great because I'm trying to start a business, and I wouldn't be living in the one bedroom with 9 cats. But it's also a 30-year mortgage loan. He has told me that whatever I decide to do won't affect our relationship, but I'm afraid this will for me. If I don't decide to go on the loan, his parents said they'll get a trailer and take the cats, but his sister 19 would still probably end up living with us because her job is close to us and she doesn't drive. I feel like I'm losing it. I feel like no matter what I do, I'm losing something. I'm so conflicted. I've asked the advice of my mom and some friends, and they think they're asking too much. But if I don't go in on the house, I'm still in this apartment that costs too much and adding an extra person to our space. So I'm asking, should I just let them put my name on the mortgage loan? Or should I accept that his sister will be living with us? I hate to add any more elements of stress to their lives because they've already been through so much. But now it's leaking into my life. A lot. Author update this story. So I was not expecting 1,300 people to find so many different ways to say, no LMAO. I'll be honest, I was not inclined to sign anything. Not because I didn't think his family would follow through or anything. I just knew I didn't know enough to make this decision. Home ownership is a distant thought right now at the wee age of 25. I came here hoping to see if this is something people actually do, and what it would mean for me and my boyfriend if we did. The obvious risk was, what if we break up? But I knew there was more than that, and you all made that clear. First things first, no mortgage. I made that post yesterday morning, and after reading through the comments that actually gave insight into something like this, I realized, yeah, there is no way we can do this. I wish it was a viable option to solve their current problem, but it just isn't. Fortunately, by the time I got home after work and talked to my boyfriend about it, he also had realized this was not a good idea. Glad I had the foresight to make us wait before giving his family an answer. It just stunted too much of our own opportunities for the future, so we were both on the same page about it, thank God. Someone mentioned that you can learn a lot about someone by how they handle the word no, and I can say that I didn't really learn anything, but just confirmed suspicions I already had. His mom was very understanding, and I don't think she even understood what she was asking when it came up. After my boyfriend explained it to her, she told his dad, who was not his bio dad, or even his stepdad, just his mom's longtime boyfriend. This matters for the next part. His dad did not take it very well. Before any of this, my BF's parents told him they would help him get his credit up so he could take in the loan for the house. They'd help pay off his credit card and obviously front the money for the down payment. And they said even if we didn't help with the house, they'd still do that since he's helped so much already. Coordinated with the Red Cross to get them assistance after the fire, helped wrangle the cats, housed the cats and his family, went with them to the realtor. As I suspected though, once we made it clear that it was not happening with the mortgage and how it would damage our future chances at a home for ourselves, his dad wasn't happy. When his mom asked if they would still pay my BF's credit card, his dad said no. He didn't help us, so we won't help him, is how he put it apparently. Yeah, like I said, my boyfriend's family is dysfunctional. I can't say I've ever had the most respect for his dad, but he's been there for most of my boyfriend's life. I have lots of thoughts of how this should go, but ultimately, we are just going to try problem solving in different ways. Definitely no rushing into quick fixes. Maybe be less ready to help so his dad can see what that's actually like. Also, a note to you all as a collective. I understand that the world is full of cruel people, but I think a lot of you missed the context of this situation when you cast judgment on his family's intentions. This is a family who has been displaced in a house fire. They are immigrants who aren't completely and perfectly savvy to all of logistics of buying a home. The reality for a lot of immigrants is that they do rush into terrible solutions because they don't always think they have another option. They know they have less resources because they lack citizen status. And it's not uncommon for children to help their parents in extreme ways. And that doesn't just apply to immigrants. There are people all over the world taking extreme risks to try and better their situation. But since they have lived so long needing to think on their feet, they don't always feel like they can afford to look for other options. All that to say, practice a bit more compassion. I understand that this was too much of a risk for myself, but that's not going to stop me from helping them where I can. Thanks for your help. What I think about this story: the dad should be ashamed of himself for even asking a 25-year-old woman who owes him absolutely nothing to take on his responsibilities like that. That is not a man you want to be relying on to not drop you in it. Thanks to everyone who was with us today. Unfortunately, that's all for today. But don't forget that we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for your support. Bye-bye.